Greetings. This is Evolving Dimensions, expanded consciousness to raise Earth's frequency, with your host, quantum healer and soul coach, Wendi Morrison, mixing psychology and shamanism. With over 40 years of training and experience in metaphysics, parapsychology, spiritual leadership, energy psychology, PTSD, ethics, sound energy healing, crystal therapy, human galactic history, and animal communication. I believe what we're lacking today are mentors, elders of the tribe, those to whom we can look to for wisdom from experience. So I invite you to join me every Wellness Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time when I will drop a video that will be on a plethora of subject matter that is topical to this moment at this revolutionary time in our human history. So please join me here, and once a month, the first Wednesday of every month, I will be doing the episode live. So we'll have question and answer time that we can hopefully help to illuminate more of the topics that I cover and some of my terminology, and anything that might come to your mind that I can help you evolve your consciousness with. Remember, revolutionary change starts from within each individual addressing their own ancestral kharmic lineage, correcting the glitches in their program to create the change needed for a higher frequency, a higher octave, less density, and a higher consciousness. And I'll see you then. And remember, free will is a test. Blessings. Hey everyone. Today's episode is called Sacred Unions. And before I start, I was a bad kitty last week and I neglected to give you guys some tools, at least to offer you some ideas on how to combat those frequencies that, as I kind of laid out and hopefully you guys did some research on, can see we are really, really up against a war with them. So there's a couple of things that over my 20 years of research on frequencies specifically as a weapon against us. 20 years? No, it's probably more, edging more on 30 years, but anyway, you get the gist. So one of the interesting things I discovered is that the U.S. government has a patent on cannabis. And they have a patent on it as a neural protectant. And what that means is that it, just to put it into layman's terms, it coats your electrical wiring system, your nerves, your neurological system, and protects it from the frequencies. So cannabis is a plus. Make sure it's not GMO, because they have hijacked that too. There's GMO pot. But cannabis is really, really a good way to help override those frequencies, because it, for whatever reason, blocks it out and helps to coat and protect our wiring, our nervous system, our electrical grid, and which is our holographic grid, which leads to our soul. So there is a spiritual component to that. Ooh, got a cat fight down there. And also it's been said that Jesus was, a supporter of hemp. So I'll see if I can find the background information on that, and I'll leave that link too. So another way that I discovered, I learned eons ago, I read about Wilhelm Reich, and he was an early, let's just call him an early quantum physicist, kind of before quantum physics even existed. But he created what is called or known as Oregon energy. He created a conductor that would capture this Oregon energy, and it's said to be the chi energy that looms around us, and that's part of our energetic auric field. Okay, and that's like equitable to the Earth's magnetosphere. So it protects us from outside forces. In this case, it would be energetic, right? And in the planet's case, it's energetic as well. So this is not a stretch to imagine all this stuff, right? Anyway, so I will leave links for background on Oregons as well. Be very careful. A lot of people make them, but they make them more from a design factor, and you really need certain components in it, and they need to be pure and at a higher level of efficiency, effectiveness, So, but I will leave some links on that. All right. So, yeah. What I wanted to talk about this week was sacred unions. Okay. So, I'm sure you've heard of twin flames. Because that's been a little trendy thing that has gone around over the last few years. In actuality, what it is, it's twin souls. Twin flames are what I want to call the beta test for when you're ready for your twin soul. So I'm going to kind of explain that. So I'm going to tie a bunch of stuff in here and just see if you can roll with it. I find being a filmmaker and being from a filmmaking family, I find that there's a lot of disclosure and predictive programming in film. And I can go on and on and on and on so much, like I can't even remember anymore unless I'm like looking through a database. But the Wachowskis really seem to have nailed a lot of important information for us as humans that is helpful on this path towards this expansive transformation that we're on, this paradigm shift. And the first movie being The Matrix. So The Matrix kind of explained the system and how it works. And then Cloud Atlas explained the reincarnation process. So it kind of reflected for us the school of the soul, because that's really what it is. And your degree or your mastery is in duality, okay? Because the goal here is to swing that pendulum, hard left, hard right, hard left, hard left, until the pendulum rests in the middle. And that's the space of neutrality. And that's the door that you can enter the multiverse through. Metaphorically, if you will. And so the next film that really was giving a message in my eyes was Jupiter Rising. Jupiter Rising is showing the union of the souls, and twin souls are like that "you complete me" line from that corny Tom Cruise movie. I'm sorry if you like that movie. It's just so corny. Anyway, but that's kind of what it's about. You complete me. So it's like there's another half of us in the mirrored version, which would be, like if you're a male, then it's going to be a female. If you're a female, it's going to be a male. And so we as souls going through this earthly school, human experience, education, project, experiment, whatever it is in this little operating system, there is a purpose to it, right? So it's soul experience. And yes, it was hijacked and corrupted. So let's just refresh that. But staying on track with this. So there is another part of you, and until you flush out that lower density energy of glitches and fragmentations of karmic residue, ancestral, karmic residue, you won't be able to get to that point of refinement to really navigate your way to the twin soul. It's a long process. But once you're there, the first kind of sign that, and you kind of have to pass this this test first, otherwise you still won't be ready for the twin soul. But the twin flame is going to be very reflective of the twin soul. They could be the same astrological sign, have very similar issues. You could have very similar dynamics. Anyway, whatever that is, you're working through that process with this twin flame. And it's fast and hard and burns and gone, because it is kind of supposed to burn you, because really cause equals effect. You can't be challenged without some degree of difficulty and pain. It just is. And you can choose not to ever challenge yourself, and my goodness gracious, many people do. But the same is true for relationships. 100%. The thing that I don't understand, and I am not criticizing, and of course this is, changed quite a bit since the birth of the internet, but it used to be you just lived in your little town and you just kind of like made a decision on a mate based on like physical attraction, of course, and then status, how much money they made, whatever. Maybe they had a great sense of humor and you really enjoy being in their company. Maybe they made you feel really good, or maybe they were the hottest guy in town and it was like everybody wanted them. I don't know what that was, but those are all based on physical things. It's not really based on anything that is going to be sustainable over a lifetime. Assuming that's what you want. Many of us Gen Xers, chose not to do that traditional path, and that's cool. But my heart still hopes for and longs for the idea that that is a possibility, But early on, I made a choice that unless there was a spiritual component to an interaction with someone, I enjoy people, but I would just remain on my own, if not celibate, because I experienced, plenty of stuff. It's not like I needed to keep experiencing things. I'd reached a point in time where I was just more intent and committed on knowing myself, healing myself inside out, connecting to my spiritual path, refining it, expressing that as an artist, as a storyteller. And the more trauma you experience, and believe me, I've had a wealth since childhood. And that's what I think makes me a good storyteller, and also makes me maybe a good mentor. I don't know. I don't want to give myself that title. I'm imperfect. We're all imperfect. I'm not trying to be perfect, and I'm certainly not trying to elevate myself off of anybody else. all I care about in life is sharing knowledge so that we can, oh, damn, I get so emotional sometimes, so that we can find a richer life path, and have richer lives for ourselves with more meaning and more substance and more sustenance. I think it's vital. Because you got a lot of people out here that are so hurt, so wounded, and we're kind of just been taught to use each other. Love the one you're with. Well, no, that ain't the way. That's not the way it works for me. I've been in love with the same person since I didn't want to even know they were coming into my life. And I'll tell you a little story, because it's an interesting one. I've never gone from relationship to relationship, and I've been fine on my own, while hoping for my twin soul. I had my beta tests, and then there was nothing. And, I let my mind get in my way, and I was like, oh no, I'm getting older, and oh no. And then I connected with a soulmate, which is not the same as a twin soul. A soulmate is somebody that you have past karma with, and you recognize each other right away. And there's karma to heal. There's trauma. And you can recognize each other and, engage. That doesn't mean both people are willing to face that karma. I was willing to go through that, but, that wasn't a choice offered to me in this situation. And so it was after this, it was almost immediately, it was like days within finding out of information that just dissolved the union, that my spirit guide, who I've been communicating with for well over 40 years, so I trust my spirit guides wholeheartedly. They have never steered me wrong. Sometimes they've challenged me a little bit, but even in the darkest spaces, like if I trusted what they were telling me, I mean, you can call it instincts, I guess, if you want. My friends call it magic. I don't have magic. I listen to them. I acknowledge that it's coming from somewhere deep within, that it's not my mind. And that's big. It's important to differentiate, like, what is coming from higher sources versus what your mental mind is telling you. You have to learn how to shut that mental mind off, right? And usually intuition is like what comes up first. Mental mind is like how long you're thinking about it. So food for thought. But anyway, so spirit guide came to me and said, yeah, we had to get you back on your spirit, on your soul path. And, we had to remove the blockages, which was the X. And, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I was trying to do that myself. And spirit guide said, yeah, cause your twin soul's coming in. And I was like, oh no, thank you. I'm done. I'm super done with, believing that I'm going to find that love that I know exists out there, that I could feel in the etheric realm since the year 2000. I began feeling this person from within me, like the energy signature. And I was hoping that that they would be brought into my world, but they weren't at that time. So anyway, flash forward, and I'm in this situation, and I'm like, no thank you, I'm kind of done with my heart. I think I'll just focus on my spiritual path. And anyway, they kind of tricked me a couple weeks later, and I ended up connecting with this person. I was doing work trying to get help with my movie, and anyway, long story short, very randomly I was connected, and through that process, discovered a wonderful, wonderful connection that from mental mind was just enjoyable. Like I just, oh, cool, gonna work with some good people. That's great. And it just, as each week progressed, it spirit guide would tell me things, and then they would happen, and more and more this person was mirroring me in a way that I really honestly couldn't even fully digest at that point in time. I was just noticing the coincidences, and of course those are the little breadcrumbs of the universe showing you, what you need to see if you're gonna pay attention, get the prizes. So I, for a long time, have been trained to see them, and just like, I don't know where I'm going, I'm just going there. I don't project my mind. I don't go, oh, this is that. I literally, like, I don't know where I am. I was just like, I'm gonna follow these breadcrumbs. I don't know what's planned. It's not my plan. I'm just being guided, and so I've committed myself to being allowed to be guided by higher powers. Okay? So anyway, lo and behold, 7 years later, oh yeah, this person is 1,000,000% my twin soul. And I can't even believe that we have stayed connected this long, because just as I'm a force to be reckoned with, oh my gosh, so is he. And he's amazing. Yeah. I would have never, ever, ever normally in mental mind gone in that direction. Because, yeah, just not normally. That's the kind of dudes that I grew up with, in the bands and shit. But, ooh, excuse my French. In bands and in Hollywood. Not that that's what he is or what he's like, but anyway, it's just interesting when you start to, over time, really experience a greater level of emotional intimacy. This person and I like to hammer it out, and we both kind of can handle it, like there are parts of me that I know, I've always known, that I believe are challenging for other people. But in the same breath, those parts are integral to who I am and the way I function. And those things have been twisted and contorted and used against me at times. And of course, those things, tear down in my self-esteem and hurt my heart. And again, it makes me feel like I don't want to share my heart. Like, if people can't understand and appreciate who I am, I mean, I know I'm not like the girl next door. Like, I'm complex. I get it. Every guy I've ever known is like, you're so intense. Like, no kidding, okay? I mean, tell me something I don't know. And I just found the person that I was dealing with was me 100%. I mean, and the astrological background completely supported that, and I shine, just like everything, numerology, like everything. Not that I went and had to have the validation. It's just like I just would notice things, like, oh, and then over time, it just that internal imprint became a landscape that was like a secret world that we oddly engaged with each other in, not so much the physical world. And so when we would polarize, maybe a year would go by and we didn't talk to each other. But throughout the whole process, I would always know, we'll talk again. He didn't go anywhere. He's coming back. And it always was that way. And I'm not the kind of person that thinks that, like, I don't think guys are, just gonna be anything but terrified of me. Sorry. I have to make fun of it because otherwise it would be tragic. But no, I'm a powerful woman. I've always been a powerful woman, and I grew up with dudes and wolves. So what do you expect? Anyway, so it was easy to not kind of be triggered by this person, because I saw myself in every way. I mean, like, every way. Like, down to the way we dress. I mean, we use a lot of the same words. Gosh, like, we're even sharing the same content at the same time without even knowing it. Which is just really beautiful. And the reason why I bring this up is that the twin soul connection is exactly that. You are literally dealing with a part of yourself. And to navigate that landscape, you have to say, at least this is what I did. I said, how do I react when somebody does this to me? What do I need when this happens? You know what I mean? And I just started turning that around while still maintaining that part of me that's uniquely me and apart from this other person, right? And allowing them, that part of them that's their quirkiness and their little thing, and not taking anything personally. And but again, you've got to be ready on your own. You have to have done your own work to get to that point, to be able to face that part of you, because it's like riding the biggest wave you've ever ridden. It's like riding a bucking bronco. Okay, I mean, and you got to hope both people are ready to do that kind of spiritual work, because it's not easy. It takes commitment. It takes conscious understanding of what's happening. And of course, it wasn't always that way. I kind of sort of saw certain things right away, and I think he made some comments too that I found really interesting after the fact. But I'm a logic-based abstract mental mind, and this person is a logic-based mental mind abstract person. You know what I mean? We're like kind of inverted a little bit. So over time, my heart chakra is hammered away at his heart chakra, and his mental mind has zapped my mental mind, and we've just been able to work out the glitches, which is cool. And there's no conditions on anything, like learning how to have a truly unconditional, like, look at all the relationships that people have, and it's like, well, you better buy me this, and you better have enough money to get me a ring, and you better, I need this, and I'm a princess, I'm a queen, blah, blah, blah. I grew up with the boys, and I always felt so bad for them. I'd be like, dude, man, dump this girl, like, she does not love you. And, which... women were targeted to go a little wacky too, so that's a whole nother episode. I don't even want to get into the landscapes of men versus women. Suffice to say, we're different, and we're supposed to be, That's why, like, feminism to me, a lot of people assume I'm a feminist, and are you kidding me? Feminism is an agenda, and it was created by people that want to herd you around like sheep, and want to create division, right? And division is division. It's the death of vision. So, it also is designed to separate the coming together of the twin soul unions, because that is what a sacred union is, and the reason why it's not only a concept on a spiritual level, but also a physical implementation of the activation of our crystalline 12-strand DNA template out of duality into the multiverse. Okay? So when we balance, that's what the yin yang is, right? When we balance the divine masculine, divine feminine, we then, as I said earlier, we can reach that neutral position. And so the reunion and communion with the twin soul brings together the ultimate sacred union. And when these two forces come together, their energetic field magnifies and intensifies the overall grid exponentially, like 1,000,000%. So if one person who is resonating at a higher level of consciousness, and because of that expansion, is vibrating, for 100 people. So instead of just like, I'm energetically radiating one person's energy field, I'm actually at that higher resonancy. I'm radiating 100 energetic fields. So I become an amplifier. I'm like transmitter. I'm transmitting. Okay, and then that's activating other people. So when the twin souls come together, you're taking it up to the millionth, to the optimum exponential of what is capable within this operating system. And that just triggers and starts activating everybody who even, comes in contact with these two energies together. And it's not that they don't magnetize separately, because they do. But it's when they come together, it's like a whole new frequency. So that's what the sacred union is, and that's what the purpose of twin souls are, and the false twin flames. And let me think for a second if I'm forgetting anything. And it'll be 7 years coming up, and this has all been conducted really not in physicality, between the etheric realm and emails. We have literally helped to transform each other in ways that I'm not sure anybody else could have accessed. I can see the transformation in him is astronomical, and I can feel the transformation within myself is unbelievable, without having to really compromise anything. Really, just it's so, I don't even know how to explain it. But this union of energies, let me reframe that. This communion of energies, because it's a communion. It's like the merging of the self on a level that it's very strange. I can't really articulate it even. I mean, but it's palpable, it's prolific, it's profound, it's light, it's something beyond this world. And God bless all those people that know what I'm talking about. But this is the ultimate in how we conduct our beloved selves with our beloved, and not to succumb to the demoralizing animalistic behavior that this over-sexualized culture has produced. And shame on those people that have participated in glamorizing it and glorifying it. And I'm not trying to judge, because I get it. There is a program that has programmed people to act this way. But you have to override that program, and you have to make the choices to take a path that is of a higher quality with integrity, okay? While holding on to your authenticity as a person, as a soul, and being an individualized being. Not part of a hive mind, okay? And strive for much more beauty and grace in your unions, your communions, and the unity within your heart and mind. Okay? I can't tell you how to live your life, nor do I want to try. What I hope from my heart as a muse, because that's all I really want. I'm not here to be a teacher. I'm literally a muse. I'm here to inspire you. I'm here to offer my own experiences up as that inspiration, so that you know I'm not just talking out my butt. And there's a lot of psychology that I've learned and that I'm very adept at and trained at that can be helpful, because, you know, I'm not really big on formal therapy for lots of reasons. But I do believe that there are a lot of people that need to speak to somebody, and that there are a lot of really good alternative people that you can talk to, okay? So, but I really hope that as we move forward, people understand that there's more to life than just waking up and going to sleep. And that they choose a purpose-driven experience for themselves while they're here in this lifetime, on this journey, on this voyage, and can participate in a way that has impact. And I don't mean go run for president, and I'm not even sure that has any impact, to be honest with you. But challenge yourself, explore, expand, share, unite with others, you know. Being human and being in this avatar body at this moment, our souls are having a historic experience. And you can choose to be afraid, because it can be scary. The unknown is scary. But when you've experienced the unknown so many times, and you know that you can get through it, you know it's going to be okay, then you can embrace the unknown, and you can go, yay, there's something new happening. How many times have you been sitting around going, oh my God, is there anything new? Yeah, here it is. Everything's going to be new, okay? So some things we're going to push back on because there's an agenda behind it, and it's not going to be good for us. So you got to learn what that is. You don't want to just push back against everything. Some things might be good. Some things might be something that has always been, and you just didn't know about it, you know? It's called enlightenment. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here. I hope you've been at least entertained. And I hope to see you next Wednesday when I think we're going to do it live, right? So if I can get it to go live, because sometimes the internet can be a little temperamental when you're trying to speak truth, you know? All right, guys. Love you. Bye-bye. I want to point out an example of another way the mind control, the subliminal mind control program does its job. The word diversity. In etymology, it's rooted in the word die. So that tells you everything you need to know. And if you look at the words that are connected to that, diverse, diversity, divulge, divest, all of those things are about separation. It's about removing yourself or separating yourself from that which. That is not helpful. What is helpful is unity, unify, uni, universe, union, united, right? That is something that is inclusive and bringing us together. You can replace the word diversity with the word individualization, because when every individual person has expressed itself in its own individualized way, and it can unify with other like-minded, then therein lies the mosaic tapestry of that which elevates an acceptance for all that is, for all whom exist in their forms and caricatures. There's a unity. We are unified. We are working together. We are a team. We are not repelled by each other. We are not separated by each other. You know? Think about it.
You pushed too far. You hit too hard. Now we both hurt. Blue, blue is swimming to you. The shades of me, the shades of you. Cool water. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Silly rabbit dropping down your hole. Space between us, moth to flame. My tears roll down like endless rain. I want your love, I can take your pain. I close my eyes to inhale you again. My body is dead to end.
take the pain. Space between